All right. So let's talk about inputs. The majority of programs require some type of user's input or user interaction. Okay. So, for example, your TV receives the user's input through a remote control. A bank machine or ATM machine receives a user's input through a number pad. And even your device or laptop or computer receives input through a keyboard. So as you can see, the ability to receive input is very important. So I'm going to show you how to receive input in Python. It's actually very simple. And that's it. We just type input and then open and close brackets. So now if we run our program, as you can see, there's an input box here, which we can type something in. So right now, we're not really doing anything with our input. So let's store it into a variable. We'll call that variable X. So if I run my code, whatever I type will be stored in this X variable. So right now, our program really doesn't have any output. And there's nothing really exciting about this program. I mean, unless the objective here is to run a program that doesn't have any errors. But we're trying to create something interesting. So let's do something with this input. Let's go ahead and display it. So essentially, when I run our program, it's going to collect the user's input, store it into this variable X, and then display the value of the variable X, which is essentially what we've entered. So let me go ahead and run our program. So now, when I enter some input, the same input that I entered is what is being displayed to me. Interesting. So in this editor, there's another way to provide inputs to your program. So on the bottom left, you'll see a button called Inputs. If you click that, you can also type your inputs in here. This is useful if you already know your inputs that you want to provide before you run your program, or if you have, let's say, a lot of inputs that you want to copy and paste into your program, you can enter it here. And now if we run our program, it just picks up the input from the input box. So another thing we can do here, if you click our inputs button, first let me remove the text here, you'll see a button called statements. When I click this button, you'll see in our text editor, these characters get pasted in here. So basically, if you're too lazy to type this out, you can always just click statement and then it'll be pasted in your text editor. Okay, so let's try to do something even more interesting with our code. So right now, when we run our code, the user doesn't really know what is being expected as the input. We can actually provide some type of description or prompt here. So in this case, when this input command runs, it's going to display this prompt, which is enter your name, so that the user knows what's expected. And let me update these variable names to something that is more meaningful. So now, if I run my program, as you can see, we get the prompt, enter your name. In this case, I'll just enter Mona Lisa. So far we've learned how to collect input from a user, how to assign that input to a variable. We've also learned how to provide some prompts when we're collecting inputs.